On the 20th of January, the Lemkin Institute for Genocide Prevention and Human Security issued a red alert for the United States. And on February 5th, Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi signed a slew of memorandums for federal employees, one of which repealing the moratorium on federal executions. Under Section 2, the memorandum states, pursuant to President Trump's executive order, federal prosecutors at the department, including at U.S. attorneys' offices, shall seek the death penalty if that is a penalty prescribed by Congress for the most serious, readily provable offenses, and if doing so is consistent with the relevant statutory considerations and other applicable regulations and Department of Justice guidance. The memorandum sets the death penalty as the default for capital crimes rather than the most extreme punishment. Quote, absent significant mitigating circumstances, federal prosecutors are expected to seek the death penalty in cases involving the murder of a law enforcement officer and capital crimes committed by aliens who are illegally present in the United States. So, it's just murderers getting the death penalty, what's the big deal? Not exactly. Because of this part right at the end, in addition to drug-related prosecutions, the policy shall also be applied to cases involving non-drug capital crimes by cartels, transnational criminal organizations, and aliens who traverse our borders and remain in the United States without legal status. By saying this policy also applies to undocumented immigrants, it thereby leaves the door open for genocide. No, it said that it only applies to capital crimes. A valid argument, but this ambiguous language is the point. Ambiguous language such as this is exactly how the bump stock ban was repealed, and now the legal definition of a machine gun makes absolutely no sense. But wait, it gets worse. Because one of the memorandums signed on February 5th takes away prosecutorial discretion and gives President Trump the ultimate authority in determining who receives the death penalty. The discretion afforded by department attorneys entrusted with those responsibilities does not include latitude to substitute personal political views or judgments for those that prevailed in the election. When Department of Justice attorneys, for example, refuse to advance good faith arguments by declining to appear in court or sign briefs, it undermines the constitutional order and deprives the president of the benefit of his lawyers. But federal prosecutors don't work for Trump, they work for us. It is therefore the policy of the Department of Justice that any attorney who, because of their personal political views or judgments, declines to sign a brief or appear in court, refuses to advance good faith arguments on behalf of the administrator, otherwise delays or impedes the department's mission, will be subject to discipline and potential termination, consistent with applicable law. Together, these memorandums arguably give Trump the power to call for the execution of undocumented immigrants and fire any attorney who refuses. And there are absolutely legal arguments and procedures that can make this null and void. But by the time these arguments make their way through the court, it would already be too late. And that's the purpose of flooding the zone. There are 10 stages of genocide. The U.S. is now in the middle between 7 and 8. Don't look away.